I looked at the thermostats. We moved into our house about 5 years ago, and Nest was basically it at that point. As far as smart thermostats go, that would like learn a schedule over time and had a little bit of intelligence that you could use to sort of optimize your bill. And so I don't know what actually what actually is going on with them at the moment because I haven't been following them that closely. We were looking at thermostats. The Nest was wildly expensive. Honeywell at that point had one that I was able to control using the home automation brain that we purchased. So what we ended up doing was just buying a Honeywell thermostat that cost about a third of what the Nest cost at the time. And it worked great. We used that for quite a while. I have an Ecobee now. And there's a whole story behind the behind the Ecobee, but I much prefer it because I like that it's got the sensors, and I like that it tries to help equalize the temperature everywhere, and you can just add more sensors. Like if you need to monitor more parts of a big house or a house like mine that has multiple levels, you can just add more sensors, and then you can sort of sort that out, and you don't end up with like the one room that's always hot and the one room that's always cold. So one of the things that struck me about Nest initially was that they were like, yeah, we don't work with anything else. And they were super excited sort of about the fact that they weren't compatible with anything. They didn't work with anything. They acted like they were one of those companies I mentioned at the beginning that doesn't seem to be aware that there are other technologies at work and other things that you should work in conjunction with. You know, like maybe like I have hue lights that change color, so maybe change the color of the lights, and you know, like when it gets too hot, turn the lights red so that I know it's too hot and I can go do something about it or whatever. And I'm not seeing a lot of that from Nest, and I feel like the Hue approach, the Philips approach with the Hue bulbs is the right approach, which is there's a technology out there that people are interested in and using, so we're going to be compatible with that. That way, like, anybody can have one. Like, the other stuff in my house is a Vera, which is our home automation brain from Mi Casa Verde. We have some Amazon devices, and we have some HomeKit devices. And my Hue lights will work with all of them. And Hue doesn't care. You know, that makes it more likely that, you know, if all I had was the Mi Casa Verde, I could still buy Hue lights and operate them. If all I had was one Amazon Echo, I could still control all my lights with it. If all I had was my iPhone, then I could control all my lights with it. And I think that's a much better approach. And I wonder if part of that, if that super compatible approach is at odds with what's going on with what Nest's philosophy is, which is we don't have to be compatible with anything. We are our own ecosystem. So I don't know that for sure, but it's entirely possible. So let's move to the next question.